to Has Been Heroes. This game came out, I think, last week for PC and Switch, maybe the other consoles too. I'm not entirely sure. I'm playing it on the Switch though, and pretty good time with it. This is post commentary, by the way, because I'm not really able to record both audio and commentary, or rather the game and commentary at the same time. That gets kind of weird trying to do that. But right now, what we're getting is some backstory, rather the justification for roguelike aspects of this game. So, yeah, let's get into some game review. This is a roguelike strategy, like kind of FTL-ish in a way, in that you can pause time to plan out your actions. Right now, I'm just kind of killing plants in the tutorial. Um, there are 3 lanes. Each one corresponds to, for the Switch, to one of the 3 leftmost buttons, so that's the X, Y, and B buttons. And basically, telling someone to attack is pressing the button corresponding to their lane and then hitting A. So, right now we're kind of on stamina. Those are the green next to the enemy. So you deplete all those, they get stunned, and then you can actually hurt them. This is something I didn't really grasp very well in this first episode. I kinda just went all out, not really doing much planning at all. So there was some stamina mismanagement. All in all, though, this game is really fun. I really enjoy it, at least. Being able to plan everything out the way you want it to go. It really feels good. You're able to do it. So there's this mushroom. I'm not sure what that's all about. I actually haven't seen this guy in any of the actual runs. Okay, so this is the tutorial on using spells. In the bottom there, spell menu. So each hero gets 5 different spells. They have cooldown associated, but when you go to use them, it stops time, so you don't feel rushed trying to plan everything. Although, because I didn't quite get the what's the word? I guess the gameplay. I didn't really get how to play the game on my first couple runs, so I get a little panicked at times just trying to do things. Doesn't really work out. So that was the rogue tutorial. The story there is she's a bright-eyed, uh, bright-eyed, young, up-and-coming, looks up to these guys who are old and kind of past their prime heroes. Hence the name. These guys haven't been heroes for a while. Whole justification where they're going, what's taking place during this tutorial is they're all going to the castle because they got summoned by the king. Well, these 2 guys are going to the castle because they were summoned by the king. Rogue went ahead to try to meet them because, looks up to them. So it makes sense. Right now, these guys are just on their way over. There we go. They meet up, and the game outside of combat is also kind of strategy ridden. Each area you go to has a different map, obviously. I don't know if it's procedurally generated or what goes on there, but in that bottom right corner where you see the map is where the map goes. And you can't just go anywhere you want. It takes a candle you see in the top left of that window there. It takes a candle to retrace your steps. And if you get yourself into a position where you don't have any candles, but you have to use one to go somewhere, that's game over. So you really need to plan out where you're going and when. And on each map, there are these larger nodes, which usually contain some sort of vendor, either items or spells. And because it's a roguelike, you don't really know anything about the items or spells you pick up until after you pick them up. So you kind of have to do some guesswork based on what it looks like to decide who would be best for that spell or item. Because after you pick it up, you can't switch it between heroes for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why you can't. Like, maybe I understand spells, but items I feel like you should transfer. So that's a little nitpick, I guess. Can't really do much customization. Alright, so here is the um, justification for why you can die and keep coming back to life over and over. There's this guy, he's a little portal, and well, after this story happens, you'll see. Ah, cat attack. Okay, so Giant Fist came down and killed everyone, but luckily there's this gatekeeper guy, and he basically says, "Hey, I'll keep bringing you guys back to life. You have to defeat this guy right here in my orb." So that's why you come back to life and you unlock different things. And I will say, done a few more runs in this game off camera, kind of get a hang of it. Let's see, how many have I done? Just powering on my Switch right now. Check that out. So yeah, here you can see the map that I was talking about. And from the very first, like from the moment you get there, you can kind of plan out what path you want to take to hit the most of those question mark nodes. Let's see, I've played 11 games. So after these two, I've played 9 more. And yeah, this episode is 2 separate runs of it because they're both kind of short. So I will say, when I started out trying to figure out how to navigate, uh, it was slightly unintuitive. Right stick, press the R button, and that's how you kind of move around the map. See, up on the very top left, there's this fast forward button. I was trying to use that like to shorten down travel time, And right here, I thought I didn't have any gold. It turns out you actually start with 300 gold. So yeah, I thought I had 0. I just moved on. Spell that would have probably been pretty useful. And, you know, I see the merchant and I'm like, well, I don't have any gold, so I might as well not even try to go down that way. But this is just a chest out in the middle of nowhere. So of course you take that. So you see it's some boots, so you're like, okay, maybe the warrior should get them? Yeah, warrior should get those. They look like warrior boots. And they give you +2 stamina. The way your heroes lose stamina is if enemies get right up next to them and hit them. So, you know, every time you remove an enemy's stamina and do some damage, they also fly back on the screen. And, you know, that's basically how you keep them away from you. You keep all your stamina. And just like the enemies, once your stamina is gone, you take health damage. That's not good. Because unlike enemies, the only way you can regain stamina is at specific stamina camps, which are one of the things the question mark nodes can be. But that regains all of your stamina. Now here I believe I do... No, I don't. I don't even go for the... some gold from that chest. Here I get into some combat, and I don't think I had quite internalized that, um, you know, that you can't do any damage to enemies until their stamina is gone. So, you know, you don't really want to use your warrior to remove stamina. He's more of a heavy hitter. And rogue does medium damage, has a kind of high crit chance, I think. I don't know if there's actually check that. It might just be abstracted away. Roguelikes like to be kind of non-specific in that way. They don't really like telling you what your stats are. So yeah, I mean, this battle is not going to go. I think. Yeah, I use my warrior to do the stun, then use that guy to do damage. It's the least amount of damage. You see 9 HP and 2 HP. You know, he's really knocking it out of the park there with damage. But what you can do... Alright, so I gave the... Mage has a freeze spell after you attack an enemy. Well, after you cast that spell at an enemy and then attack it, they then get frozen. Which could be useful if there's a pretty tough enemy that you don't really want to deal with. And then the warrior has the fireball there. And what that does is it basically stuns any enemy, also doing burning damage. And there are some status effects in the game, of which I'm not entirely sure what they do. Uh, like, I mean, burning, pretty self-evident. You know, you burn them. But then you can drench enemies, which just, I'm not sure what that does. Maybe it slows their movement, but I haven't noticed. So this is looking pretty bad right here. I don't think I survived this battle. I don't survive the one. Right now, everyone's taken one hit at least. So yeah. Something else I didn't really know is if you fully deplete stamina and then attack them, it removes stamina blocks. So I'm doing a lot of suboptimal attacks here because I didn't realize that at all. I was just like, okay, hit whenever you can, do damage whenever you can, but no, you really want to match up enemy stamina of attacks you can do. like guys with 4 stamina, you might want to double up with the wizard attacking them warrior to do damage. So I think this might be the end of my road here. To that, but I don't think I can get them done. In fact, no. I see my death coming right now. I use the fireball when that guy is really close to the rogue. It's the rogue as well. That's what happens. I think that happens in my second playthrough too. Spoilers, by the way. So yeah, here I'm like, oh crap, they're getting really close. Let's use that fireball. And yeah, you can't switch if the person is still in that space. So if there's no yellow flashing circle like you see right there, then you can't switch places with them. So yeah, here I cast the fireball, which does do splash damage. Rogue dies, and once any of your heroes dies, that's game over. So you can't keep trying to go through just 2 heroes. And here you see the unlock system. So you needed to collect at least, well, exactly 50 souls to get the next unlocks in the game. And I collected 12. Now, here I'm kind of what I could do to help make post commentary a little more interesting. Well, I decided, hey, let's go through the spells, and that looks like a bug, by the way. Still being a question mark, but seeing its description. There are a lot of unlocks here. There's a bunch of spells, a bunch of items, enemies. The crossroads are those bigger question mark nodes. Yeah, so that's how that goes. Here, I believe I was thinking this is going to be 2 episodes, so I paused for a while to allow for an intro. I wasn't really watching the time. I don't like to do that, I suppose. So, just gonna sit at this menu for a little while. There we go. One thing that's really nice is it loads really quick. So here, oh, this has a perfect path to get all the nodes. I don't know if there's any special special bonus. Yeah, and here again, I have no money, so I just pass this guy by, which is a real shame. You start with 300 gold. Just look at the bottom there. Here, I think I just go to this point, get to the other question mark there, because I want to point out the optimal path, and this optimal path is just zigzagging. You have to miss one node, but usually you're able to decide pretty easily. Which one you want. So here, I think that goes to. I just pick. It's a critical hit chance increase. So I think, like in this instant, I was thinking, okay, that's pretty good. Can I give that to my rogue? And you can't give items to any other hero for any reason. Not sure why they did that. Mainly, I think probably just to get a little extra, like add a little extra difficulty to the game. But I think it might be some unfair difficulty because you don't know what the item is. So I feel like you should probably be able to switch items between. It just seems like items are just things you're carrying. So you can give those to other people. Spells are knowledge you acquire. So that can be justified. Like, this specific person read the scroll and learned the spell. But items, pick them up, you're like, hey, this doesn't really benefit me, you take it. That might be my only issue with the game so far. If you saw, when I started this run, there were two separate so when you start the game, you just have to go through this. And I've actually done that. Doing that bunch of new stuff mainly unlocks a bunch of types. So as you complete the game, it's harder to complete. So you have to learn more things about what the enemies are and what they can do. At the same time, I also unlocked the support class, which is what I'm calling the mage, the spellcaster. I won't spoil what that hero is. I don't know, maybe that's interesting. So I do get through this battle, and you can see there's a timer at the top of the screen. Defeating all the enemies, surviving until that timer runs out. Basically, if either of those happen, you survive. So yeah, right here, if you let the timer run out, you don't get the 20 bonus gold. And I think I actually do the gambling because I've been through a battle, so I'm like, okay, I have money now. Oh wow, I have 387 gold. That gave me a lot of money. So this is figure out how you're supposed to do this. At this, another spell gets added. So I forget what she said you needed for each try was. Basically, times that and you're guaranteed some spell. Which I'm fine with. I think that's okay. As much as you can. Obviously, you want to get as many spells as you can. Get as overpowered as you can early. Kind of steamroll through the gold, everything. So that's that. I think I was trying to give this spell to someone else too. Just trying to see if that worked in it. This battle is where this run is. So we're just gonna sit back. So that spell is actually pretty useful. It allows you to refresh the attack recharge. Basically attack, and then attack, and then attack again. Recharges your melee. Also lets you use it right after that as well. So it's really good for if you want to do a lot of damage quickly. One of these plants or something. Something you saw right there is if you switch lanes and the attacker is past an enemy, coming back actually does some damage. Right here it's going to do damage to each of them. But got so Mage is now down a stamina. At this point, I'm kind of getting the hang of things. Still not quite up to snuff. Still immune. He puts up a shield for, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds. I don't know exactly how long the shield lasts, but don't think you can break through it. I think you just have to wait for it to go away. And right there, I think I was trying to get extra value from that going backwards. Doesn't much damage. It's not really. Warrior does alright amount of damage. Mage and Rogue, not really. So let's see, what am I casting? The strike. So I'm attacking first, and then I use quick. No, I don't. Don't use quick strike. Gotta get those back attacks. Really all that useful. I'm kind of overvaluing them at this point. I think it might that I'm actually owned by how cool it is that you can do that. Doesn't do enough damage. I think, yeah, fireball and that kills my mage. So that's the end of that run. But I actually did get enough souls to get an upgrade. So we'll see that here. Awesome chest. 2 upgrades, a spell and an item. And that's gonna do it for this episode. I'm just going through the unlocks again real quick here. You see, that's that spell I unlocked. Don't know anything about it, just know its icon. But yeah, that's gonna do it. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you like my commentary or gameplay, it's understandable if you didn't like it. I promise you in the next episode it's much better. Hit subscribe. Trust me. Once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.